Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. So this was a video that was sent to me from one of our viewers here that follows the channel. And he told me to check out this video that was dropped by Gil's Arena, I believe it was yesterday. And the title of the title of the video is called Bronny James Playing Scared Blows Up Gil's Arena. Now, initially, I didn't want to watch the video because I'm like, I'm not in the mood like to hear dudes twerking it up for Bronny and doing this, and I just wasn't in the mood. So he's like, nah, man, check it out. Rashad really went off. And shout out to Rashad McCant, man. He a cool dude. So I decided to click on the video. And on this particular panel, not only was Rashad there, but they had Kenyon Martin, Gil, and of course, Nick Young. Now, Kenyon Martin, if you're aware, he also has a son that plays in the NBA. I think he played for the Clippers. I can't remember the other team he played for, but I know he played for the Clippers, and it was another team. So Kenyon Martin also has some knowledge on this type of dichotomy. So usually what ends up happening is whenever you talk about Bronny in a way that's not positive, you usually hit with the, oh man, he the 55th pick, man. Why are you talking about the 55th pick? Why are you talking about the 55th pick? Why are you talking about the 55th pick? And that's essentially what was going on with Gil and Nick Young. But then Rashad McCant brought up a point that I've been saying, and a lot of people have been saying, which is he's a basketball player, bro. Regardless of the pick, he's the second player. Excuse me, he's in his second year in the NBA, and he gets promoted as a 55th pick more than even some NBA All-Stars. They're NBA All-Stars that will put on do a dunk or whatever it is, a crossover, and they're not going to make it on SportsCenter or Instagram or House of Highlights or Bleacher Report. But Bronny will, if he has a dunk or this and this, he'll make it up there. So it's not like as if, oh, Bronny James is not being like praised. It's like y'all don't want. He's basically saying y'all don't want there to be any critique on his game when he doesn't do well. And he was essentially saying, him and Kenyon Martin, stop trying to put this dude in diapers. And he cursed out Nick Young and Gilbert Arenas over. All right, cool. So what we want to do is we want to play what these guys had to say. It's quite entertaining, a few minutes long. I want you guys to listen to their back and forth because I thought they brought up some good points. And I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to what these guys had to discuss here.
You look at these guys, if they're ready, go in and show us. Year two, everybody's walking around on eggshells like, can we say this now about him? Is it okay? Is he, man, what you mean? He's grown ass man. He playing in the league. He got to perform. I don't see second round pick. I see you got an opportunity, take advantage.
I dig it.
Take advantage of this opportunity. You in the gym every day, just like everybody else on every other team. Hit them shots, bro. Take that shot. What is it that's not giving you the confidence to take that shot and make that shot? That looks like, you see, a scared boy out there. He don't look like he want to make mistakes. He don't feel comfortable making mistakes. So you got to have confidence from your coaching staff, the players around you. Take that shot. He not Rudy. Are we treating him like Rudy from the movie Rudy?
Yeah. But as a player, does it give you confidence when the head coach is literally screaming at you to shoot it?
Yeah, but if the message can be the message. Like he could hear it daily from everybody. But if he not comfortable when that ball come his way, he's not gonna shoot it.
Not gonna shoot it.
If he's not confident in his ability, he's not gonna shoot it. Right? He's just gonna continuously pass up shots. That's just what it is, man. But you continuously put him in that situation.
Starting him?
It's wild.
Starting him? It's insane.
If you're
trying to build
you're trying to help him with it, yes.
That's the game plan.
How else would you do it, though?
Okay.
How else would you go about building the confidence? Let him come off the bench and give him more shots. Call plays for him. Put him in the starting lineup.
Bronny's situation. Bronny's the only person that's been in Bronny's situation. The great father, one of the greatest you consider in the game. Then your son come in. Nobody done that. He's the only person that's been in that situation that get criticized. That from 13 to now, every day, he's still been criticized. That's on you.
Who made the decision?
Ain't nobody been criticizing
Nick,
as a child.
who made the decision?
You're talking about now when they just a pro.
But you made the decision.
Once you become a pro, so just hear me out. Once the decision was made for him to become a pro, they opened the door for
You
criticism.
opened the door, bro.
Criticize.
No, ain't nobody criticizing.
Kenyon to USC.
Ain't nobody criticizing him at Sierra Canyon.
He was an All-American.
I heard it.
Donald's All-American.
We all heard it.
Everybody
But-
expected
But
that.
did they tell the
only
truth or did they
getting-
criticize him, Nick?
It's y'all true.
No, who's y'all? Who's y'all? No, ain't no y'all to it.
If you-
I'm asking. I'm not talking about. I said I want to talk about the kid, but I'm being honest here. Who is the criticism fair or not, Nick?
You ain't been in a situation.
What's the situation?
No, I know I haven't been, but that ain't the question I asked. Is the
I'm just
criticism fair or not?
I'm just saying.
Has the criticism
if Bronny came out of high school averaging 25 a
if
game,
the criticism that
we
you
not
heard,
criticizing.
Every day when everything you do is spotlighted. Good
well,
or bad, you gonna get talked about.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking
So
about
is it
the
fair?
55th pick this year, the 55th pick last year.
Is the criticism
from the year
fair?
before him? Nobody talk about nobody other
asking
kids.
you a question,
But
Nick.
as soon as he step on the floor, every time he's on the floor,
So is the
we say
criticism
something
fair?
about him.
So
You
is
want
the-
to live like
but
that? Ways on
is the criticism fair or not?
No.
So
I'm asking-
if it's unfair,
so
why
if it's
did you put yourself
so this is
in
not-
this
Because I
position?
love basketball
Okay.
myself, so I can't do.
Yes, you can, but you're going to get criticized for it. We're not going to change the business model.
So if I just
for
stop
you,
playing, I'm gonna get criticized.
we're not going to change the business model
If I
for
just
you.
say let y'all and quit and
Then
do
the
what
people
y'all
win
want me to
then.
do.
Just because you the
What y'all
son
gonna
of
do
some other player don't mean you going to get. Bro,
No, that's the only
Gary
reason I'm going to
Payton
get
Jr.
I be talking.
Gary
That's the
Payton
only reason
Jr.
you're going to criticize
Gary
me.
Payton
Is
Jr.
because
don't
I'm
get
LeBron's
criticized
son.
too.
Yeah, because-
Gary Payton Jr. get criticized.
No, you've never talked about Gary Payton Jr.
We never talked bad
No,
about
you've
him,
never.
right?
No.
But it took him a long time to get to the league based on his dad being a Hall of Famer and not going and say, look, pick my son up.
They can't
But
do
did
it.
you ever talk about
They
it?
can't
No.
do it.
You don't even talk about the #1 pick last year.
I do.
You didn't talk about him last year. You're not
You
talking
gotta
about him
be a
this year.
critic to
Excellent. So you heard what they had to say. What are my thoughts about it? Guys, look. Rashad is speaking from the standpoint like a lot of people. It's almost like as if Bronny is off limits. It's almost like as if he's off limits. And out of all of the NBA players in the NBA, he's the only one that I keep hearing being referred to as a kid. Even when his father came in the NBA, no one was referring to LeBron James as a kid. They were referring to him as LeBron James. LeBron James. When it was time to produce, it was time to produce. But the problem what these guys have, I think, with Rashad and people like him and Kenyon is that they don't want there to be any expectations. They don't want any expectations because they keep hiding my, he's a 55th pick. Okay, fine. If he's a 55th pick, we won't talk about him. You guys don't promote him. But wasn't it the same Gil's Arena when the Lakers had a 6-2 record? Wasn't it them that posted a video, a thumbnail? As a matter of fact, put up the thumbnail of Gil's Arena when the Lakers had a 6-2 record and Bronny had nothing to do with it, but they still promoted him like as if he was the driving force behind it. Take a look at this image here. Cool. You can see it. You see it right there. So y'all are talking about he low-hanging fruit, but y'all promoting him, and Son is not. Bro, let's look at his stats. This season, Son is averaging 2.1 points per game on 29, let's say 30% shooting from the field, 27% shooting from the three, 0.9 rebounds, 0.5 assists, and 0.8 steals. He's averaging less points this year than last year. He's shooting worse this year from the floor and from the three-point line. They're not talking about this. That didn't stop them from promoting him all over the internet. That didn't stop last night when Bronny James hit a three, his only 3 points that he made in that game. They were promoting it all over social media. So at that point, he's no longer low-hanging fruit. At that point, it's like, it's Bron's son. All y'all want is for there to just keep giving him pats on the back, and if he does something wrong or he doesn't play well, nobody should say nothing about it. Then you start reaching for the fifth. He keeps bringing up the 54th, the 53rd, the 50th. When was the last time you saw ESPN, any of these companies, promote any of them? The same reason people are going at Bronny is the same reason people are defending him, because he's LeBron's son. That's why. That's why. But shout out to Rashad, McCant, and Kenyon for keeping it a bean on that particular topic, man. We gotta knock it off with all this twerking, man. Like, we gotta knock it off at a certain point. yesterday there was an episode on Gil's Arena where they were reacting to some of the criticisms that's been aimed in the direction of Bronny James. Now, for context, Bronny James this season is averaging 2.1 points per game on 30% shooting from the field, 27.3% shooting from the three. He's shooting 100% from the free throw line while getting you 0.9 rebounds, 1.8 assists in just over 11 minutes per game, right? The other night, he got a start against the Milwaukee Bucks, and in that game, or after the game rather, there was some footage going viral all over the internet. It was posted by various accounts of JJ Redick yelling at Bronny James, "Shoot the effing ball! You got to shoot the effing ball!" Right? So even JJ Redick was kind of getting on his case a little bit. So as you guys know, Kenyon Martin, who also has a son in the NBA, I believe it's KJ Martin, I believe. And I think about a year or so ago, or a year and a half ago, there was a segment where Kenyon got pretty emotional about his son, right? And just some of the difficulties of being a young NBA player trying to find your way in the league. And he started crying about it. But that's understandable. I mean, when you love your children deeply, tears can come to your eyes. It doesn't make you weak, right? Tears can come to your eyes for your kids, right? So Kenyon knows a lot about this father-son dichotomy. Now, the only difference is Kenyon is not playing in the NBA actively, right? He's not playing in the NBA actively, but he has a son that's playing in the NBA. So, as you guys know, this Bronny James subject is a pretty touchy one, right? Pretty touchy one. And last year, was it last year or this year, Stephen A. Smith went on air where he was essentially pleading with LeBron James to make this stop. Now, what was Stephen A. Smith talking about? Stephen A. Smith was just basically saying, like, after Bronny got embarrassed by Tyrese Maxey, he was like, look, man, this kid is out here being embarrassed. Like, what are we doing? Right? But obviously that turned into, Stephen A. Smith was questioning LeBron's parenting skills. Then ultimately LeBron James approached him and this and this and this. And y'all remember how that went. But if you also remember, LeBron was the one hyping up Bronny James by posting on the internet, Bronny's better than half of these guys I'm looking at in the G League. Bronny can definitely play in the NBA. So he was putting a lot of pressure on the guy and a lot of expectations, because when you're LeBron James and viewed as one of the greatest players ever, when people start hearing you're putting this type of praise on your son, you're going to put pressure on him, because now he's going to have to live up to his last name. Fair or unfair, he's going to have to live up to it in some way. And Kenyon Martin believes that Bronny, to a certain extent, may have been put in a position to fail. And to be fair, he's also been consistent about this whole father-son the dynamics, even going back to the John Morant thing with his pop. So Kenyon has been pretty, I think, fair and consistent on this issue. So what I want to do is I'm going to play what Kenyon Martin had to say. It's a very short sound, I think about a minute or so. I want you guys to listen to his argument, and I'm going to come back and react to his comments. Take a listen to Kenyon Martin here.
Because when it's going to always be this umbrella of this LeBron, his dad is still here, and it's always going to be this low-hanging fruit thing for people to pick at. Until he gets out of this Laker jersey or LeBron retires, whichever one comes first, he starts playing more and people can see what he can and what he really cannot do. That's when people's honest perception will start to kick in. But until then, it's low-hanging fruit to your point. The criticism is going to be there to your point. It's just what it is at this particular, because it's an unfair situation, Nick, to your point. It's an unfair situation that they put this kid in early. He wanted to be an NBA player, yes.
When they try to compare your son to you?
Say it again now?
Have you had that situation with your son when they always try to compare like your son to you and all that?
Yeah.
Excellent. So you heard what Kenyon Martin had to say there. What are my thoughts about it? I think Kenyon is being fair-minded. I think Kenyon Martin is being fair-minded, and I think even LeBron fans would admit as much. I think LeBron, if you sat down an honest LeBron fan that's willing to be honest for 10 seconds, and you asked him, hey, do you think LeBron, by those comments that he made about Bronny, put too much pressure on him? I think if you're speaking to an honest set of LeBron fans, which is hard to find, but if you are, they'll tell you, yes, he didn't need to put all of that unwarranted pressure on him. Why? Because he's LeBron's son. For goodness sake, he has the same last. They have the same name. The only difference is the junior. They have the same name. So just imagine the pressure that puts on a young man. Imagine the pressure. So Bronny must be under a lot. Now, to Bronny's credit, he seems like a very level. Here's the thing. Bronny's actually more likable than his pops. He is. Like, most people will agree with that. His father's quite polarizing, but his son seems like a cool dude. You hear him talk, he seems like a cool cat. But you're in the NBA now. You're getting paid like an NBA player. So now when you play well, you're going to be talked about. When you play poorly, you're going to be talked about. When Bronny does a highlight like last night, he hit that 3, it's all over the internet. It's all over Sports Center and Bleach Report, House High. It's all over the internet, right? They're praising you for doing something good. But if you do something wrong, there will be a critique to it. Now, does LeBron, him being LeBron's son, play a role in it? Absolutely. Which goes back to the point Kenyon Martin was saying. Given the fact that we already know that that's going to play into the pressure, don't say nothing. Don't heap expectations on him. Don't put him in a position where he could fail, to not live up to the expectations. That's the point Kenyon Martin was making. And I think Kenyon was making some fair points. As you guys know, the biggest story in news right now, or one of the biggest stories, certainly in American politics, is the Jeffrey Epstein files. The House voted on it yesterday. It was only one Republican that voted against it. And I don't know why. I didn't get a chance to hear what his reasons were. But leading into that, the president said he would sign it on the document comes on his desk. Then the Senate voted on it the same day. And I was like, whoa. So that moved up pretty quickly. And one of the people I'm waiting to hear from is Stephen A. Smith, because I'd like to hear his comments on the Epstein thing. And as you know, Stephen A. Smith is always quick to talk about things political. And he's built himself a conservative audience, right? There's no question about it. And that's fine, right? My thing is, look, if you're going to build a conservative fan base, just at least own it. Don't hide behind this thing of, oh, I'm a centrist. Oh, I'm just looking at this thing from above, and oh man, you don't try to put me in a box, man. I'm just viewing it out. Just own it, and let's move on with our lives, right? So Stephen A. Smith on his show did something that absolutely astonished me, right? And it has to do with former President Barack Obama's wife, Michelle Obama, whom, by the way, earlier this year had made some comments about Stephen A. Smith and the way things are done on First Take. And they call it the Desperate Housewives or something like that. He pushed back on that and said this about her. So when he made these next comments, it absolutely stunned his conservative viewers. And a lot of them were pretty upset with him for what he had to say. Because Stephen A. Smith is essentially claiming that no one should be surprised that Michelle Obama, yes, Stephen A. Smith is saying it, could be the next president of the United States. Take a listen for yourselves.
Does anybody doubt right now, as we sit here on this day, November 17th, 2025, that if Michelle Obama came out today and said, I'm going to be the Democratic nominee, I aspire to be the Democratic nominee for the presidency of the United States of America, who would beat her? It's going to be Josh Shapiro. It's going to be Gavin Newsom. It's going to be Governor Beshear in Kentucky. Who do the Democrats have that could compete with Michelle Obama? What do you mean the country isn't ready? The country isn't ready, so you'd lose to J.D. Vance? Really? Or you couldn't have a chance to beat Marco Rubio, who I think is the best candidate the Republicans have for the presidency? Because Trump ain't circumventing the 22nd Amendment and is going to be able to run for a third term. So if Michelle Obama is really serious about what she's saying, she's also arguably seriously false. Because I believe she'd cakewalk to the Democratic nomination. And I believe she could win it all. Do you want it? Can't knock you if you don't. You're the first lady. You had experiences at the White House that most wouldn't have. You would know better than most of us. But the bottom line is, If that's the case, then say so. Don't look at this country and point to men and act like we wouldn't vote for you. Yes, we would. Yes, we would. There's plenty of men that I know that will vote for Michelle Obama. And I can't imagine any Democrat who wouldn't. Class personified, educated, smart, excellent orator. The first man who would be the first man in American history also happens to be the former president who has a similar reputation by her side. Run, Michelle, run. Run.
So you heard what he had to say. Now, I want to supplement his comments with an article that we got here, and it has the following headline. Stephen A. Smith disagrees with Michelle Obama, suggesting America isn't ready for a female president. Then continues on. Stephen A. Smith is not on the same page with Michelle Obama regarding her suggestion that America is not ready to have a female president. This comes after Obama touched on the topic while she was addressing a crowd of women, at the Brooklyn Academy of Music on Friday, November 14th, to promote her new book, The Look. Fox News reported. To justify her claim that Americans are not ready for a female to occupy the highest seat, Obama made mention of Donald Trump being elected over Kamala in the 2024 presidential election. And then Stephen A. Smith then went on, essentially his article is saying that he went on to basically push back on those views, right? Essentially what we just played for you. She says, as we saw in the past election, sadly, we ain't ready. The former first lady said. That's why I'm like, don't even look at me about running, because you all are lying. Y'all are not ready for a woman. You are not. Obama also stated that she feels like a lot of men in America do not like the idea of being led by a woman. You know, we've got a lot of growing up to do, and there's still sadly a lot of men who do not feel like they can be led by a woman, and we saw it, Obama said. But Smith, on Monday's episode of Straight Shooter, begged to differ after he mentioned female lawmakers who were recently elected, stating it was to show that Americans do not have any issues with having women at the helm of political affairs. The television personality and sports analyst also buttressed his point by referring to New York Governor Kathy Hochul and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton winning the popular vote in the 2016 presidential election. And then the article went on to say a few other things. What are my thoughts about this? Well, Stephen A. Smith with those comments absolutely turned off his viewers. If you don't believe me, go to the channel and go watch the comments. Go to the video on Facebook, where I think the video had over 10,000 comments. People were reeling. How could you say such a thing, Stephen A. Smith? How could you say such a thing? Now, I think there's a little bit of political calculation that's going on here, and I'm going to tell you why. As you guys know, Stephen A. Smith really got into it with his own community over how he was going at U.S. Representative Jasmine Crockett, right? And a lot of people came for him. To the point where he had to essentially capitulate and say, hey, look, guys, calm down. Just a minute. Wait a minute. I apologize. And that really pissed off his audience even further. Like, you don't apologize. You stand on it, bro. You don't just apologize for it, son. You got to stand on it, man. Right? But so you apologize. This one, I don't even know where he's coming from with this one. That Michelle Obama could run for president. Now, for the president, or win the presidential election. I don't know where that's coming from, because I don't know her thoughts on a lot of issues. Now, some people try to accuse me, you know her thoughts. How do you know I know her thoughts? Did Michelle Obama ever campaign for office? Now, she may have done some campaigning for various people running for particular offices, but I didn't watch it. I don't know her views. Hell, people were saying that they don't really know what Kamala Harris, what her views were, and she actually ran in a presidential election. So I don't know what Michelle Obama's views are. I don't know what they are. I wonder if he knows what her views are anyway. Right? Now, in terms of the country not being ready for a female to win, the article brought up a good point that Hillary Clinton did win the popular vote, right? Is the United States ready for a woman to win? I think so. I think obviously there's some men that won't be happy about that idea. Sure. I think there's also some truth to that. But I also think that there are men that really wouldn't care. Right? And if America did vote for a female president, all they'll be doing is joining the party. because the other countries and around the world, they already have female president, female prime minister. So they'll just be joining the rest of the world on this. So I don't really think so. I think that if you find a proper candidate that has the right views, that speaks to the needs and the wants and the pain that a lot of Americans are going through in that particular cycle, sure, they could appeal to a large set of American voters. I believe that. What's surprising in all of this is Stephen A. Smith is saying it. What's next? He gonna say Jasmine Crocker should be her VP? What's next? As you guys know, well, some of you may not know, I've been a Laker fan since 2002. 2002. But in 2016, I stopped being a Laker fan. Not just me, but a lot of people. Why? Because the Lakers thought that it would be a great idea to go get LeBron James to join that team. And a lot of Laker fans were pissed off by this. They were so pissed off that the late, great Kobe Bryant had to come out and put out basically a post to say, LeBron is one of us. Jeannie Buss had to say, if you're not supporting LeBron, you're not a Laker. Like, it was bad, right? And they lost a lot of Laker fans along the way because LeBron is very polarizing and he's annoying. And what's more annoying than LeBron is his fan base. Somebody asked me this, what's more annoying, LeBron or his fan base? I think it's his fan base. His fan base, they're just insufferable. LeBron fans are insufferable, right? So as you guys know, LeBron was being a nuisance this summer when the Lakers didn't offer him a contract extension, missed how many weeks or whatever it was, and various reports, him posting pictures in front of Clippers, like just a whole bunch of, you know the story, right? Y'all know how it go with this dude. So then we started hearing news that LeBron could be coming back to the Lakers soon because he was practiced with the team on Monday. Then we got the bombshell update that LeBron is going to play for the Lakers Tuesday night. And I'm like, you have got to be joking. But ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what occurred. And when we got this news, LeBron fans just started losing their minds all over the internet. Oh, the king is back, the king is back, the king is back. And those of us who had been in recess in terms of supporting this team finally came back, and we were having a great time. It felt good to be a Laker fan again. The team was doing well. They had a 10-4 record. They were rolling. They looked fantastic. They were starting to gel. Players were beginning to figure out their roles on the team. Guys had already established a rhythm, and then here came LeBron James. So the game starts, and they started LeBron. Now, I had already said going into the game that LeBron was going to start. There was no world in which LeBron James would not start. There's no world. Going into this game, had LeBron not played, I had 100% confidence that the Lakers are going to beat the Jazz. If they said, Charles, bet $1,000 right now that the Jazz will win, the Lakers will out bet it. But when he came back, I'm like, I don't know. So as I'm watching the game, I started to look at the lineup, and I noticed that one key player was off the lineup, starting lineup, Marcus Smart. Then I looked at the rotation, and it was Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, I think Rui Hachimura, and Ayton. And I said, this is not going to work. This is not going to work. Why? This is a poor defensive lineup. You got to have Marcus Smart in the lineup because he's their best perimeter defender. And as a result of not having Marcus Smart on the floor, what happened in that game, especially in the first half? Who went off in that game? What is it? Keontae George. Keontae George, I think, had like 22 points in the first half. And I said to myself, of course, because the Lakers have lost their defensive bite. LeBron fans couldn't give a damn. So as I was watching the game, what you would notice is the Lakers started to get back in the game when he went off the floor, and they started to pick up their defense with Smart and these guys and Vanderbilt, and these guys got back in the game because they have too many guys that aren't playing defense. You can't have a starting lineup with Luka, LeBron. You can't. Luka has improved his defense. He's not going to make an all-first defensive team. Austin Reeves cannot play defense. And LeBron is too old to be playing defense. He hasn't made the all-defensive team since he was 30 years old, over a decade, right? So I didn't see how it was going to work. And what ended up happening was the number 10 seed in the Western Conference was actually outscoring the Lakers. Gave up 71 points in the first half. And the only reason they were even able to beat this team was because they were able to out-talent them. They just they overwhelmed them with their talent. Now, we did a live halftime at 6 a.m. in the morning. I went live, 5:45 in the morning. And I didn't even watch the second half of the game because I went to bed. So when I woke up, I saw that the Lakers had won the game. And as I was going all throughout the internet, LeBron fans were losing their mind. Oh my God, LeBron James had a double-double. Oh my God, LeBron had a double-double. Look, LeBron fans, I have come to the realization that this guy is going to be here for the rest of the season. So I got to find a way to root for this team even with this guy here. I got to find a way to do it. And my God, right? But I will say this. Going into the game, I said it could work if LeBron did something different, which, to his credit, and I'll give him credit here, he did, which was he became more of a facilitator and a rebounder. He did a good job doing that. He didn't force up a lot of shots. He only attempted 7 shots. He only attempted 2 threes. He made 3 threes, and he made 2 of them. And he only attempted 7 shots. Now, I think he will attempt more shots going into the future. But I like the fact that he got his teammates involved. He had 11 assists in the game. And at least he didn't hurt the team. Now, in terms of the positive plus minus, he had the least plus minus. The Lakers were only winning the game by 1 point with him on the floor. His plus minus was 1. Everybody else, 14, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 11, 13, 12, 15. The only guys that did worse than him were Dalton Connect when he played garbage minutes. Basically, he played 3 minutes, and Bronny James played -7 minutes. Played 3 minutes as well, with a negative plus minus of -7, and Thero, right? So of all the players, he had the plus minus was 1. My recommendation going forward is this. It won't work with LeBron, Reeves, and Luka in the starting lineup, but Marcus Smart coming off the bench. It ain't going to work. They need to have some defensive guys in that starting lineup. And if they're not, then Vanderbilt should be starting over Rui. You can't have a starting lineup of guys not playing any defense whatsoever. They played against the Jazz. Now, luckily, they were able to out free throw these guys to death. And the Lakers attempted 40 free throws. So they were able to beat them there. But when you play against good teams, you're going to have to defend as well. So either LeBron goes to the bench, and I don't think that's going to happen, or Reeves. But both of them, I don't think it's going to work. They're going to be too bad defensively. Unless their hope is we're just going to outscore guys every single night. That's their only hope. In terms of LeBron fans losing their mind, bro, y'all can chuck it up, laugh it up, but y'all only got a few months and he's out of here. Y'all only got a few more months, so I'm gonna support the team because I'm supporting the team, right? I'm not some of these ridiculous LeBron fans. Since when were you a LeBron fan asking me if I'm a Laker fan, knowing the only reason they even on this team supporting it is because of LeBron, knowing that when LeBron was gone, they wanted the team to lose. So I'm still gonna support the Lakers, but my God, LeBron fans are insufferable.